Last weekend I was lucky enough to head out to Portugal for a ride with some friends. Out there I got to try out a couple of Trek Madones, one from 2007 and one from 2014. They were great bikes. I've never been a big, huge Trek fan. I find their bikes a little bit boring to look at, but you can't deny that they ride very, very well. I thought I'd make this quick video as a quick look at the Madone, have a look through the years at all the different versions, and then check out the new 2018 versions and see what the different models are on offer. So you can't talk about the Trek Madone without mentioning Lance Armstrong, who basically helped to develop Trek and the Madone when he won the Tour de France's that actually he didn't win because now they've scrubbed them from history, but that's a whole other conversation. Just a very quick look at Google Trends. We can see that we can go back to 2004. The Trek Madone came out in 2003, and you can see that the Specialized Tarmac wasn't really around. However, the TCR was out there, and then later on we get the Scott Addict and the Super 6 from Cannondale. It's cool the way that you can see that these spikes come in June and July, and I'm guessing that's because that's when the Tour de France is on and we get more interest in the bikes then. For some reason 2009 was a big year for the Trek Madone. I have to look that up. Okay, so the first one I could find was from 2004, the 5.9, and it's really difficult to find good pictures of the old Trek Madones. Basically trawled through the Trek archives, and the pictures are all very small, but I thought I'd put them up anyway. So this is the 2004 5.9, one of the earliest versions of the Trek Madone. I like this going on here, and it's obviously all carbon. 2005, that's a very bad picture, but that's all I could find. A few updates there. I love all the spacers in there. Those bikes were both Dura-Ace. This is Dura-Ace, so this is the SSLX from 2006, 2007, and then we got into 2008. We had a pretty big update. So you can see we jumped from the sloping top tube to the more compact design frame, and if you keep your eye around here you can see some sort of design cues that are sort of still around today. I like these wheels, they're pretty cool for 2008. So that was 6.9. 6.9 Pro 2009, that's got the SRAM on it there. That's got white tyres. I'd like to get some white tyres, that's cool. That's a good looking bike, I like that bike. I'd ride that now. In fact, I might have a look on eBay, see if I can find one. That's cool, I like that. 2010 6.9, I think that looks cool as well. Very sort of racy looking. Dura-Ace. Okay, 2011 6.9 SSL. They've toned it down a bit for 2011. I can't help but think of the TCR when I look at that one. Okay, 2012, we've changed to the 700 series carbon. 2013, we've then had quite an update there as well. We've sort of gone from the sort of thinner head tube area, and then they've started filling it in here in the 2013 model. We've also gone to Di2, so this is the 7.9. So for the Madones, the higher the second number after the decimal point, the more expensive it was when you bought it. So the 0.9 is the top of the range, and then 7 being, or the model number. So we're up to 7 here in 2013. 700 series carbon, and you've got the Bontrager wheels, seat, handlebars. Bontrager is basically the in-house Trek brand, so they supply all their own bits there. Okay, 2014, not much of a change there. That just looks like paint job. Still the 700 series carbon. 2015, I couldn't find a new picture for 2015, so whether or not they didn't update it, I'm not really sure. Those are the pictures from the Trek archive. 2016, okay, big jump now. We've gone from the 700 series carbon to the 9, and we've actually downgraded the carbon. According to the Trek website, it says the 700 series is better, so I'm not sure about that. But we've got a massive change in the shape of the frame, and the Madone has become Trek's aero bike. All these tubes are designed to be aerodynamic. We've got the one-piece bar, aero bar, and we've got the new integrated front brake with, I forget what they call them now, but we've got these little wings that flap in and out when you turn corners to cover up the front brake. Pretty cool. No cables showing, and you've got, is that the ISO speed decoupler? I have to check that. Madone ISO speed decoupler, increasing vertical compliance to twice that of our nearest competitor without compromising pedalling efficiency. So basically that makes it more comfortable. And we've got the Bontrager Aeolus 5 TLR. TLR Tubeless Ready, I think that means. I think you pronounce that Aeolus. Seems like a weird name to me. So that's the 9.9 2016 model. Then we go to 2017. This is the first one I could find with a weight. And it's the top of the range. And it comes in at 6.87 kilograms for an aero bike. That is nice and light. That's a very good weight. Can't see many changes to the frame there on the 2017 model. Bit of a paint job, and it's got the new Dura-Race on it. So then we come to the 2018 model. So this is the new one, and it's the 9.9, and this weighs slightly less. 6.8 as opposed to 6.87. So they've shaved some weight off. And there's also been a bit of a redesign to the frame there, look. So 2017, 2018. I'm guessing we're trying to make that lower at the front. The top tube's curving down and the head tube is a bit shorter. Apart from that, all pretty similar. There's another view of it. I do like these details inside the forks with the different colours. I think that's pretty cool. And this is all very aero around here. Yeah, I like that. Looks good. What I don't really like about this is this sort of bit where the seat tube goes in. This looks a bit rubbish to me. That needs to be smoother junction there. So this is the top of the range 2018 9.9 Madone, and it comes in at a whopping shade under £10,000. So that's a lot of money, but you get a very light aero bike for that. So the 9.9 is the top of the range. The next one down is the 9.5, which weighs just shy of a kilo more. So it is a little bit more. But the other thing I noticed is that the model down from the 9.9, the 9.5, appears to have the 2017 frame. So it looks like the 9.9 is the only one that has the updated frame, according to the Trek UK website. So that's interesting. Here's another view of that. That's a pretty cool looking bike. I like that. Again, I like the blue inside the forks there. Like that. Again, I just don't like this junction at the seat tube. Looks a bit weird to me, that. Okay, so this is the 9.5, and that comes in at £6,500. So still, well, it's still way outside my price range. Expensive. So what's the next one down? We've got the 9.2. So the 9.2, now the interesting thing here is there wasn't one saying that it was a 2018, so this is a 2017 model, which looks very similar really. Here's another angle of it. We've obviously gone down to the Ultegra mechanical, whereas the 9.5 has the Di2. So the 9.2 from 2017, again a little bit heavier, not too much heavier than the 9.5, only just over 10 grams, that's not very much, is it? And the 9.2 is £4,200, which again is still slightly outside my price range. Unless I win the lottery, I'm not really going to spend that much money on a bike. So what's the next alternative? Well, there's only one more left, and that's the 9.0. Just before I go to the 9.0, there were some nice pictures of the 9.2. I think that looks pretty cool. Aero bar, there's that design cue I was talking about earlier, the sort of flared out top of the steerer there. You got your little flaps covering up the front brake. I think that's a cool picture. You've got the ISO speed decoupler. There's the little flap sticking out as you turn the corner. Not sure what I think about that. I guess it is cool, as long as it doesn't break. And there you've got the one-piece bar and stem. So that was the 9.2. Okay, so the 9.0, that is a 2018 model. So the main difference here is we've gone to the more standard stem and separate bar. The only problem with that is this all looks a bit weird, because it was designed to have this here. So on the 9.0, I think that looks rather messy. So that's a bit of a compromise. The good thing about it is you can get a pair of tri-bars to fit on there, which I do use now and again. Another angle, that looks really odd to me. And again, it's the old Tegra mechanical. So this is coming in at £3,500, which is, well, it's still expensive, but it's in the realms of reality, isn't it? If you got that on 0% finance, you could maybe afford that as a normal human being. Question is, would I buy that with this sort of weirdly compromised handlebar setup? Not sure. It's also getting up to the sort of heavier weight, heading to the 8 kilos. Time you got some pedals on there, drinks bottle. So that's the cheaper end of the range. What I thought I'd then do was I would do a comparison of the 4 different models of the Madone that you can buy. Top end of the range, bottom end of the range. So if you take the 9.0 as your base model to then get the top end of the range, you're looking at paying an extra 170% over the base model. That means that you could buy nearly 3 of these to 1 of these. So that's a heck of a jump. And then you've got the 2 in between. You've got the 9.2, which is 20% more than the base model, and the 9.5 that is 86% more than the base model. So that gives you an idea of the costs involved there. Where you see green, that means they've all got the same equipment spec. So they've all got the same frame. Well, it says on the website they've all got the same frame, but obviously the 9.9 has got a revised frame with the more curved top tube, whereas these 3 haven't, according to the website. They've all got the same fork, and they've all got the same headset, and they've all got the same brakes, interestingly. And where they're different, probably the biggest difference is in the wheels and in the drivetrain. So top of the range is Di2 Dura-Race, then we've got the Di2 Ultegra, and then the 2 lower spec Madones have got the mechanical 11-speed. So there we go, that's the comparisons. And then if you look at the weight, which is the bottom line, literally the bottom line, your base model 7.81 kilograms, you're then paying nearly 3 times as much for a 13% reduction in weight, and presumably the wheels will be stiffer as well and slightly more aero. So which one would I buy? Well, like I say, having ridden one the other weekend, it is a fantastic bike but expensive. But I have to say I would probably, well, there's no way I could ever afford that one or justify that one. It's just too expensive. And I don't like the handlebars on this one, the way they don't fit properly. So it'd have to be between these 2. Probably the best value for money, I would say, is the 9.2. So there we go. What do you think? I'm going to set up a little poll up in the top right hand corner. If you click on the eye, you can then choose which one you would prefer to buy. That'd be interesting to see what people think. Or leave some comments down below and give us a thumbs up.